Welcome back, family. Happy Monday. Today is such a special day. So, as some of you may or may not know, my mother passed away in 2018, and today would have been her birthday. I'll be quite honest, I can't really remember what age she would be turning. Grief does that to you. So today is a special day, and I'm glad to be celebrating this day with you and be here with you. We are going to talk about it. This is actually part two of kids' grief. So if you remember 2 weeks ago, we talked about kids' grief because this week is actually going to be Kids Grief Day. It's a national day. We wear blue in celebration of kids' grief. So, if you remember, last week I told you all to um, write down your book title. So, we all have stories or the title of your story if you didn't want to write a book. I told you to write it on a sticky note, a flashcard, or you could use your phone. So, I used some sticky notes. And so I put my book title is We All Got Stories was my title, and my subtitle was And Here's My Story. And so I had wrote that because in my lifetime I haven't met anybody who does not have a story. I haven't met anybody who does not experience certain things, and I haven't met anybody who really doesn't have nothing to say or bring to the world. And maybe there's something about me. I am an empath. Like I feel for people. I don't have to know them. I cry during TV shows. So maybe that's part of my personality. But I truly and honestly believe that we all got stories, which is why I brought it up to you, which is so awesome because November is National Writing Month or Writers Month. So I know we got a couple writers in the community, I would claim to be one. But I know we got some phenomenal artists, writers, and I just, want to take this time and I want everybody to at least try to write this month. And so that was the title of my book, with my subtitle. And so I also said write down some points, affirmation, positivity activity notes or something. So I got four. I'm going to read them to you. My first one is I am a writer. The second one is I am capable of communicating. The third one is I will be an author. And the fourth one is I am a great public speaker. So this is what, week 3 or 4 in November. And so I have been writing in my journal every day. I actually have 2 journals. One of them I'm faithful and I write in every single day. The other one is hit or miss. But I journal every single day. I write things down. I write my feelings. I write prayers down. I write affirmations. I write ideas. I write little notes to myself down. I use sticky notes. I love, love, love sticky notes. I think they're probably one of the greatest inventions in the whole wide world. They're phenomenal. And also too, like I do hope to be an author someday soon. And so one of the things that actually made me think about this was with today being my mother's birthday, I was a child who grieved. And I was 15 when my father died of a heart attack at work. So I am fairly young and I don't have either one of my parents. And it's probably one of the hardest things I've ever experienced. But one thing that my mother's passing taught me was that the way I handled those two situations added to my story, added to who I am as a person. The reason why I love people and the reason why I can empathize with people is because of what I've been through. When I was 15 years old and my father passed away, I had maybe one person who told me I did not have to be strong. And I had one person who told me, feel what you're gonna feel. And I remember that. And I remember that person, and I'm so grateful. She's still in my life to this day, and I'm so grateful she said it to me because she said some words in my heart that I needed to hear. Okay, well, she said some words to me that stuck in my heart that I needed to hear, because outside of that, people didn't know how to grieve. People didn't know how to handle what they were going through. So to have one person acknowledge, like, hey, you're 15, you don't have to be strong. I'm here to tell you you're 12, you're 13, you're 14, you're 15. Whatever you're going through is difficult, and there are some adults who could never survive what you're going through, and that's part of your story, and that's part of who you are. I don't care what other people say to me, and it doesn't even have to be the loss of a parent or a sibling, which I know is very real. Maybe it is just a loss of an animal, a cat or a dog that you grew up with. Maybe it's a loss of a house. Maybe it's a loss of you moved to a new city. We all have these different things that we go through, and it's part of our story. And so I think it is very, very important that we take these times to document these things, because there will come a time where we can't exactly remember. And if you're anything like me, when you grieve, the memory goes. And so I'm here to tell you today that whatever you're going through, whatever you're feeling is very real. Your story is important. And I hope you took this activity very seriously. And I hope that you wrote down a title that speaks to you, because one day you're going to share that story, whether it's you being a mechanic, whether it's you being a teacher, whether it's you being a scientist, whether it's you being a community social worker, whether it's you being a history teacher. I don't know where you're going. I don't know what you have to offer, but what I do know is that you bring words to your book. Actually, let me say this. You bring words to this book of life. Because the thing about it is, each and every person that is watching this, that is under the sound of my voice, that will come back later, you have stories, chapters, words that all belong in the book of life. And one day, somebody outside of you is going to read it. They're going to read your chapter, your story, your book, and they're going to be like, wow. And we have to remember that everything we go through is our view, our perspective. We can't continue to try to please everybody around us. First of all, everybody is not going to understand us. When you write, when you talk, everybody's not going to be receptive of you. But we're not worried about those people. We're worried about the people who is meant to hear it. Just like there's going to be some of you that watch this video and it goes over your head. There's going to be others that cling on to it. And there's going to be others that you may not understand it for years from now. And that's okay too. But we have to do what is best for us at the time being. And we have to know that what we did was because of a reason we decided was worthy of doing. So, during this month, we've talked about two things. We've talked about kids grief, and we talked about what is the title of your story. And so I want to kind of bring it together because I don't want people to be confused. Kids grief, if you ever dealt with it, or if you witnessed somebody who's dealt with it, or if you haven't dealt with it, but you see people around you dealing with it, it's all part of your story. But even if you haven't dealt with it, you still have a story, and we all have a story that needs to be told. Miss Nolan's specialty, Miss Nolan's goal is to have everybody adjust their grief, whatever that might be. But my second goal is to have your story. And that's what this is. That's what this represents. This represents the start of your story. This represents the start of your book. This represents the start of your self-love journey. This represents the start of you healing. This represents the start of you breaking generational curses. This starts the new relationships, the new paths that you will take. We will grieve, whether that's death, whether that's losing a job, whether that's losing a friendship, whether that's losing a house. We're always going to grieve. But what I want is for my young people, I want you all to be able to deal with it at a young age, so you're not like my generation, who we have to learn when we get older. We have to learn when our parents are no longer here how to deal with this stuff. I want you to learn right now, because you have a community of adults that wants you to win, and we want you to be better than what we have ever been in life. So I know that times are hard and times are scary, and sometimes you could feel very lonely. But That's all part of your story, and that's all part of what you have to offer. And I believe that each and every one of you offers something. And I believe that each and every one of you will come on top. Because you do have a community of adults that support you, that love you, that want to see you succeed. We're here, one call away, one email away. I know some of us even have access through Facebook. We're here. And so today, it's Monday. I want you to have a phenomenal week. Later on this week will be National Kids Grief Day. Please take time to come to yourself, heal, process, feel whatever it is that you need. Please take that time to recharge. If anything in this video sparked an emotion or anything, please talk to a trusted adult. Please reach out to us. Please let us know how we can support you in that way. But other than that, I want you to continue to love you the way you love the world. And I want you to continue to be who you are. And remember, you have a story, and it's worthy to be read. So I want you to believe in yourself, because you have a story that is going to change the world. I promise you, you do. I will catch y'all Monday. Bye, family.